Let's sit on our chairs in mountain pose. Let me get my chair in view. We're going to go back to the playground today for a bit. Today's quote by Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite teachers who passed just a couple years ago, but his legacy lives on. The quote is, "Thanks to impermanence, everything is possible." So let's sit tall, hands on lap, find a nice tall posture, ground down to the sitting bones, ground down to the feet. Find stillness in any way you can in this moment. Welcome yourself to your yoga practice. Welcome yourself to this concept of change. Which I know I have resistance to change, and that may even be an understatement. But this quote assures me, thanks to impermanence, everything is possible. It reassures me. Change is progress, inevitable, and opens up new possibilities. Thanks to impermanence, everything is possible. So setting intention for yourself, whatever works for you, a sweet goal, something simple, something you can apply to the next hour and maybe take with you into your day. And let your breath be the symbol, the action of soaking that in on inhale, receiving this intention. And the exhale represents letting it go, sending it out to the world, letting it go when you don't need this intention anymore, whatever the representation is appropriate. Beginning to deepen the breath, slowing it down. Good. One more big breath, all collectively together. Receiving the blessings of this universe and then sending the blessings out to our community, one another. Start to roll the head. I like to imagine I'm drawing a circle with my chin. Nice and slow. Whatever size circle is comfortable for your neck. And then change directions. I'm so happy to see all your names and faces this morning. Being a part of this community to me is such a blessing. You have, I get a big smile on my face when Mandy texts me and asks me to sub for her. Awesome. Head on straight, looking forward, nice and tall posture. Turn your head to the right. The only thing we need to be mindful when we're looking to the right and left is to keep the bottom of the chin parallel to the floor. We're not lifting the chin up or down. It's also nice to be mindful of the shoulders. The shoulders are settled, maybe rolled back a bit. Slowly looking left to right. The eyeballs can lead this movement. The eyeballs, our vision range may have more range than our chin, our neck. And that's good. It's good to stretch our eye muscles in the directions as well. All right, one more time to the side and then back to center. Let's shrug the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back, and allow them to settle. Twice more. Shrug, roll, settle. Shrug, roll, settle. Sit up nice and tall. Imagine the neck lengthening on the sides, the front, and the back. Back of neck lengthening. Lower the right ear to right shoulder. The weight of the head may be enough for the left side of the neck. If it wants more, the left arm can reach out towards the floor with a flexed wrist, pressing the palm towards the floor. If that's too much, leave the hand on the lap. Take your right hand and help lift the head back up. Right hand returns to lap, left ear lowers in the direction of left shoulder. Shoulders are still settled, back and down. 1 or 2 breaths to see what's happening on the right side of the neck, and maybe if your right side of the neck wants more, reaching out with the right palm. Maybe not. Always coming to our exercise practice, our yoga practice, hopefully as many moments as possible, tuning into the body, listening to the body, asking our body, what is it you need in this moment? If your hand is out, return it to the lap, lift the head with the left hand, blah, 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 I'm getting tongue tied, shrug and roll the shoulders. Good. Reach the arms out to the side. Tuck. Let's leave the fingers straight and roll the wrists. Change directions. Nice and slow. Good. Press your palms out like there's walls closing in on you, and you press them away. Bend the elbows, press them away. Keep pressing those walls away. Fingers are as straight as possible, and the wrists are as flexed as possible. Awesome. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Tuck your thumbs and wrap your fingers around for a gentle fist. We're not squeezing too hard. Reach in front of you now. The other option is overhead. So straight forward or overhead, roll the wrists. Motion makes lotion. Could you imagine being the Tin Man and having to walk around with an oiling can, asking strangers, friends, neighbors to squirt your joints? I would be asking people all day long. Okay, shake it out. Good job. Pac-Man mudra, thumbs and all the fingers touching one another. Place them on your shoulders. Circle the elbows. Big circles. We want to press the elbows back behind us as far as we can without losing our posture, and forward in front of us and near one another. Finding the biggest circles we can, in other words. This is so good for our posture, This is a form of shoulder flossing. We get, as human beings, we get a lot of tightness in our upper back and shoulders, and this combats it. Change directions. Think if anybody's shoulders sound like mine, we could have a little percussion section in our orchestra right now. All right, good stuff. Do you feel that circulation? Feel that warmth? Dangle the arms, shake them out. Hands on lap. Find stillness wherever you can find it. Perhaps it's in the forehead, the heart. Maybe it's the shoulders staying still. Find stillness somewhere. Good. Hands to the waist or the hips. Plug the hips down. Sit nice and tall. Shoulders are still down. And let's twist. No, actually, let's place the hands in Anjali Mudra. Palms together, thumbs at the chest. And let's look with the body. Twist the body to the left, forward, to the right. So the thumbs are glued to the chest. We're just finding how far the waist, the tummy muscles, the spine enable us to twist using them all by themselves. We will twist deeper and more juicy later in class. It's always nice to wring ourselves out, but this is using our core more so. Okay, back to middle cat cow. Rounding, the chin drops, the back rounds, and then arching, chin lifts, chest and belly reaching forward, shoulders are back. And then back to cat, stretching the back body, returning to cow, stretching the front body. Find your rhythm. Maybe it syncs to your breath. I would say this is one of the 3 yoga moves we really should try to remember to do every day. Cat cow is in the top 3, in my opinion. Flexing, extending the spine not only balances spinal mobility, but also our nervous system. Awesome. Returning to seated mountain, let's reach one arm up and over. Little teapot, come on back. Reach the other arm up and over. Lifting up, doing our best not to sag, to lean, but it's a lift up and over. We can also reach down with the lower arm, separating the hands. Find your way. There's so many ways we can achieve every posture. This is side bend, half moon. What we're doing right now, this series is called Upa Yoga, UPA. And it's basically warming up, lubricating the major joints in the body. We started with the neck, and then we went to the wrists and shoulders, spine, waist, which is a continuance of the spine. Good, really nice. Release to center. Let's place the left hand on the right leg, or to the outside of the right leg and find that juicier, deeper twist. The most important thing here is to find the long, tall posture, right from the tip of the tailbone up through crown of head. Long, strong, lengthened, and the eyeballs can look way behind you. Breathe. Release the hands, allow the body to untwist, change sides, finding length in the spine with every breath, holding the chair behind you down low so that back shoulder is settled rather than hiking up. We're wringing it out. Giving our little internal organs a little massage. Come on back to center. After this twist, let's take a couple more cat-cow, about 3 of each. 3, 4, 5, whatever seems appropriate for you. Whew, lovely. And now with our feet closer together, let's wag the knees in and out, in and out. The hands can follow if you want movement in the upper body. I like to move my hands, pretend I'm a hula dancer. You don't have to. Legs only is fine. Good. And then walk the feet farther apart, maybe hip distance or wider, and do the same thing. Knees in and out, in and out. It may feel very different for your hips. It may not. We're just noticing what's going on in the hips. Juicing up the hip joint. I think I could use motion and an oil can for my hip joints. Okay, seated mountain, the left leg and the torso stay as still as possible. Let's ask the right leg to do the in and out, the, the flap, the Charleston, all by itself, all by itself. Now, okay, we're going to get fancy here. Right leg is flapping, left arm out and in. This helps with our balance. Why not? Why not do something challenging? We're here. I have your attention. Let's get more bang for our buck, everybody. All right. Now we're going to add on. You can keep flapping just a leg. Every time we add on, it's an option. We're going to go out, in, lift and tap. Out, in, lift and tap. It's probably best not to think about it too much. Or maybe slow it down and talk it through. Out, in, lift and tap. All right, pause and notice how it feels. Right leg is grounded into mountain, torso in mountain. Left leg now gets its turn. Left leg going in and out. We're going to take it in steps. Take it in steps. You can always go back to the step before. You can always take a break. You can always just do what you want. Walk into the kitchen and grab an apple. I don't have any idea. I'm not grading you. I won't send you to the principal's office. Adding the left arm. That's the right arm. Left leg, right arm. Opposite arm. I'm not even going to send myself to the principal's office. I'm not going to grade myself. Now, there's a concept. No judging yourself. That's what we come to yoga for as well, to learn how not to talk to ourselves harshly, judge ourselves harshly. Oh boy, this feels really good on this side. Okay, advanced. Try it though. Even though it's advanced, we're trying it because we want to activate and strengthen the neural pathways for our balance, for our proprioception. Every time we ask our body to do something different, we're strengthening neural pathways for better balance, typically. Okay, out, in, tap, in, tap. We're using our tummy muscles, hip flexors, balancing, strengthening our balance, improving our balance. We're here, we're breathing. It's all good. All right, both legs. And let's figure eight the arms. Let's channel Paula Abdul. Doing a little break dancing on our chair. Figure eight the arms. I feel like I'm doing it really fast. You do you, slow it down. I'm not sure I could do this slower, which is kind of funny to think about. Awesome. Happy hips, happy hips. We want happy hips. Yay. Okay, pause and let's hinge forward. Lift up the right leg. Please start with your right leg. I like to interlace my fingers, including my thumbs, all the way under my thigh. Of course, if you have a strap or a necktie, put it under your right foot and lift your leg that way. When we sit up tall, our leg comes with us, whether we're holding a strap or the thigh. Bend the elbows and straighten. Just to lift the leg a little higher and lower. Lift and lower, lift and lower. I'm never quite sure if this is hip work or weightlifting for the arms. I guess for my thighs, it's probably more weightlifting. I'm proud of my thighs. Taken me 58 years to say that. I'm proud of my thighs. Okay, let's circle. Circle. And then the other way. Definitely good for the hips. This is a joint that can move in many directions, which we are thankful for. Sometimes it moves in a direction we don't want it to, but we are thankful for the directions. Set that leg off to the side, and the body turns so it's looking directly in the center of the leg angle. Let's hinge forward, hip crease. The back stays tall and straight. We're hinging forward. If you want to feel the crease, put your fingertips in the hip crease. We're hinging forward and coming up. This will come in handy for one of our playground activities, head and shoulders, knees and toes. Because when we touch our knees and reach for our toes, I don't want anybody to round over to touch their toes. It's much better to have a lengthened straight back hinge at the hips. Then we're not putting too much pressure on those areas between our vertebrae. The vertebrae spaces are staying spacious. Okay, enough hinging in that direction. Let's place the right foot back into seated mountain and hinge forward to lift the left leg or put the strap under the left foot. If you're lifting from the thigh, interlace all the fingers, include the thumbs. We all sit upright, lift and lower, bend the elbows, straighten. This is called wind removing pose. Not only are we lubricating our hip joint, but we're also massaging and sending nice circulation to the lower intestine for this move. I love wind removing pose when I'm lying on my back in bed and I'll hug my right leg in. Let's circle. And then I'll hug my left leg in. And then both legs. Change directions. Good. Last, on the first side, we put our right leg off to the side, and so there is more distance between our knees and feet. For this forward fold, we're going to have the legs closer together, hip distance apart or closer, and practicing the hinge over the hip crease with a flat back right over our lap. I need to press my outer knees in a bit so my knees don't splay out. Maybe you do have to do that, maybe you don't. We're lengthening and hinging, seeing how far we can hinge right before we need to round the back. Notice where you feel the sensations. Press into the feet on hinge, come on up, wiggle and shake it out. Good hip work. Waist. Now let's do the knees. So returning to lifting the right leg, swing the lower leg forward and back. My fingers are not interlaced for this one. They can be. They're just on the outer inner thighs, so I can just lift my leg enough to have clearance away from the floor. Then, after swinging several times, slow it down, find the straighter leg, and then the most bent leg as you can. So use your thigh muscles to lift that foot up under you and then straighten that foot in front of you. If flexion in the ankle is available to you, have your ankle flex. So when the leg is straighter, the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Now, we can add even more to this. At the extremes, at the most stretch, a little oomph, a little contraction of the top of the thigh, which are the quadriceps. And then when it's most bent, a little contraction of the hamstring muscle, a little oomph, a little squeeze, if you will. Do you feel the burn? I'm feeling the burn. That means the muscles are working. All right. Set the foot down, wiggle it out, shake it out, let it go. Brush off any built up excess energy, heat. Other leg, lift it a little or a lot, where we can swing forward and back freely. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then slow it down, find the extremes, the range of motion where it's more straight, more bent. And eventually pausing at the straight, feeling that little squeeze of the quadriceps, and the squeeze of the hamstring. Love, love, love my time with you, my time on the chair, taking care of my body. Good. Set that foot down. Let's do the Paula Abdul. Hopefully, this isn't insulting her. Actually, I think she'd be flattered. All right. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake it all out. Let's shimmy and shake, imagining that all the loose change is just falling off us, landing on the ground. Let me hear you say, shake it out. If you live with somebody, tell them not to worry. It's part of your class. You're not having a bad dream. Okay, pause in stillness. One more joint to warm up, our ankles. Circle. This is more than a warm up, I know, but we're incorporating yoga and energy moves into our joint warm up. We're drawing a big circle with the big toe, either foot, slow it down. The heel can be on the floor or it can be raised. Change directions. I'm so happy about my patty pan squashes. The squash leaves are huge. This is basically my first year with any form. I've always grown tomatoes and pots and things like that, but not a serious garden. Point and flex, point and flex. So I have an enclosed garden to keep the deer out and 4 raised beds. And I packed the vegetables in, probably too many vegetables because it's like a jungle. I literally need to have a hatchet when I'm walking through to see anything. Set that foot down and then we'll circle foot number 2, nice and slow. So there's fun things to discover when I'm lifting these giant leaves, and lo and behold are these bright yellow patty pan squashes. Oh my gosh, what a fun discovery under these giant green leaves. And I'm discovering things every day right now. Like, did they grow overnight? That's what I keep asking myself. Did this grow overnight? Change directions with your circle. It's just fascinating. Point and flex, point and flex. And there's something very gratifying about something that you just picked out of your backyard. I don't know if there's any farmers in the crowd, you're probably thinking, what the heck? But just so you know, I'm a city girl, born and raised in Mount Clemens and Detroit. So gardening, was not a thing for me. Okay, set that foot back, wiggle and shake it out. Now we're ready to play on the playground. Let's start. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Please sing with me. And remember, when we are touching our knees, we're hinging forward. Flat back, straight back. When we're reaching for our toes, please, please, please do not feel like you need to touch them. We're reaching for them with a straight, long spine. Ready? Head and shoulders, knees, we're hinging, toes. Now push into the feet to hinge back upright. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Push their feet upright. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Now the fun part. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Back to seated mountain. We're going to do it again twice more. I might be tempted to speed it up a little. You do you, your rhythm. Please hum or sing if you want. Find some vibration in the throat. This is good. It's healing. It's healing the nervous system when we hum or sing. Physically and energetically, remember the hinge, the flat back. And when we come upright, we push into our feet. When we unhinge, push down into your feet to unhinge. You may have heard Mindy refer to this as root to rebound. When we push our feet down, the body rebounds up. This is a great thing to be aware of, not just during this song, but for time we're on our feet. Ready? Let's go. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. We're pushing into our feet. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Staying caught up with me? One more time, everybody. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. We're rooting down. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Stay down. Let your shoulders roll forward. If you don't have glaucoma, let your head drop. Otherwise, hold it up. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Breathe. This is called sleeping ragdoll. Good. Feel the bottoms of your feet root down, pull the belly in, round the back, roll up. Spine unfurling, rolling up, head and shoulders come last. That feels good. Let's do it again. Hinge forward. Hinge with a long straight back, hinge, hinge, hinge. Then let your arms flop down. Maybe your head lowers if you don't have glaucoma. Couple breaths and sleeping ragdoll. Pull the belly in. Stack the low back over the hips first. Mid back, upper back, shoulders, head. Spine unfurling. Love the spinal roll up. Yay. Row, row, row your boat. The hinge and the rooting, important. Number 1 and 2. Actually, they're tied for first. Reach for your oars, hinging forward. Feel the roots of your feet at the bottom of the boat. Pull the elbows back. Chest stays lift, belly tone. Reach forward, pull back. You can connect breath with movement here. When the breath changes directions, the body does. Row, row. If you're singing, let the breath go. The breath will do what it needs to do. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Root your feet, root your feet. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Root your feet. We need to add these lyrics to the song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. One more time. Row, row, root, root, root your feet. Wait. I can't remember the next words if I do that. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Reach down, lift your chest, tone your belly. We're leaning back, lifting the chest. Breathe. and then release the mountain. Whew. Give yourself an applause. Very, very good. Very nice. How much time do we have? Okay. Water break. I'm a little, oh no, monkey bars. This is super important. This is actually one of the top 3 things for me, for my body, is the monkey bars. Reach up to the monkey bars, pretend you're hanging from them. The weight of your body is hanging. Reach up. We're swinging from bar to bar, reaching from bar to bar, really extending through each side of the body. If you have shoulder issues and pain when you reach your hands up overhead, it's reaching up with the shoulder, rolling it back and down, really stretching that side body. It's almost like doing the backstroke with the elbows. Otherwise, reach the hands up if there's no pain in your shoulders. Notice how the rooting down of your feet change from side to side. Notice how the rooting of your sitting bones changes from side to side. Everything's connected. We are one big chain reaction. We're living in this body of chain reactions. Woo! Long monkey bars. We're going from one end of the playground to the other. This is so good. We're strengthening the muscles that keep our spine long and strong, supported. All right, let it go. Wiggle and shake it out. Paula Abdul time. And if I could think of one of the songs she sang, I would sing it right now, but I can't. Pause in stillness, find stillness somewhere. Inside, outside. Taking a break. Moment of stillness. Good. Let's do some cartwheels. Actually, I want to stand before we run out of time. So let's do leapfrog to show the body how to stand, even if your body doesn't stand safely. And then we can do some hip strengthening and balancing things on or on the chair or standing. So I'll explain that in a moment. Knees wide, feet wide. The feet are pointing out slightly, same direction as our femur bones. I like to have my feet a little closer to me. And so when I lean forward, I can transfer the weight over my feet easier. I'm hinging forward, not rounding, transferring the weight to my feet. So when I root down, I feel more of that rebound, that lift. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to lift all the way, but I feel a strong lift somehow, some way. Hinging forward, transferring the weight to my feet. It's nice to have a drishti, a gazing point, somewhere low in front of you, 8 to 10 feet. That's an anchor. It helps with balance. Some of you may be able to transfer all the way and hover off the chair. Woo! Takes a lot of strength to do this. Equal weight in the feet, and then take a break. That's called chair pose. My heart's pounding. I'm going to take a break for a minute and do it again. Hover, maybe you need to be on a chair. That's fine. Your body thinks it's about to stand. It's still recruiting the same muscle. Maybe we push down so much, we rebound all the way to standing. These are all optional. We start with shifting weight more towards the feet and pushing down. Okay, so standing, we go behind the chair. I'll stand sideways so the chair doesn't block the camera view, because I love being on the camera so much. Find standing mountain. If you're seated, you're in seated mountain. Put the weight on the right leg. If you're seated, it's seated mountain on right side. And we lift and lower the left ankle. We're leading with the outside of the foot. The knees stay close together. That's if you're seated. If you're standing, the whole leg lifts from the hip joint. Either way, you're using your AB abductors. It's a little kick out to the left. The toes are not pointing out. Try that. It's so much easier. Ourselves. Point the toes forward. If you're curious to see what it looks like in the chair, it's a small movement. The leg is lifted enough. We're sweeping the lower leg out to the side, out to the side. It's very challenging. We're using our internal rotators. So the leg probably won't move as much as you would like it to. But, you know, we got to let the ego go. We got to let the ego not have its day in court. Okay, that's enough of those. Probably too many. But don't grade me. Let's go to the other side. If you're facing the chair, you can still face the chair. Mountain on left side. Mountain torso. If you're seated, squeeze those thighs together like you're going pigeon-toed and just lift that outer ankle away, away. If you're standing, the whole leg lifts away. Toes are pointing forward. And again, on this side, if you want to see how much easier it is to point the toes and the leg out and kick, oh yeah, that's for sissies. Let's point the toes forward because we're tough. And we're also want to target that outer hip muscle. This is the one, well, our gluteals tend to be weak too. We'll exercise those in a moment, but our outer hip, the gluteus medius, tends to be weak. And we want it to be strong. Right, good, awesome. Standing or seated mountain. Okay, let's turn. So if you are in the chair, how can we do these in the chair? Turn to the left and drop the right knee. And we're going into a crescent warrior. We're just squeezing the butt, squeezing the right butt. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. If you're standing, it's the whole leg again. Little kick back, leading with the heel. The feet are parallel, squeezing the right gluteal. It can be as small as movement as just sitting and you're squeezing your butt muscle. You don't even have to move your leg. Just squeeze the muscle. Squeeze and let go. Squeeze and let go. Squeeze and let go. All right, let's switch sides. Squeeze that left gluteal and let go. Squeeze and let go. We've done a lot today. Please make sure you drink extra water after class. More water earlier in the day. A little squeeze of lemon or lime is lovely. Good for the gut, clears things out. Keeps us, all right, enough of those. And let's take a crescent warrior, starting in mountain. If you're on your chair facing the left, it's basically just holding the posture. Holding the posture, holding the right hip. If you're standing, you step back with the right leg, bend the left knee, so you sink the hips. Please hold on to the chair for balance with at least one hand. If you're holding on the chair with the left hand, you can reach up the right hand. If you're holding on the chair with the right hand, you can reach up the left hand. There's no written rule. Breathe. Now find a drishti somewhere in front of you that's not moving, a gentle focal point, and reach to the left, side bend to the left. Please make sure you're safe. If you're standing on your 2 feet, you feel safe. We're challenging our balance, but not too much, of course. Come on up, straighten that torso. Hand comes down if it's up. Step forward to seated mountain, standing mountain. And we'll switch sides, stepping back with left foot if you're on a chair. The right foot's forward, the left foot steps back. Left hand can be on the hip, right hand on the chair. The left hand is on the hip if you don't need both hands on the chair, just to remind the hip to press forward a bit. It wants to go back with the leg, but we can wrap it forward just a bit to get more action in the hip flexor. And if you're holding on the chair with the right hand only, the left arm can sweep up. And then over to the side, reaching right. Maybe use your drishti for an anchor. Make sure you feel steady on your feet, on your roots. Straighten up the torso, arm reaches up, returns to the lap. Step forward into standing mountain or forward into seated mountain. Find stillness. If stillness isn't working for you, do the Paula Abdul. All right. Okay. If you're standing, we are going to do, let's do a quick knee strengthening massage. I hope I don't do this too much with you guys, but to be honest, it's something we can be doing every day. It's so good for our knees. And it is one of my most requested things. So I feel like I need to honor the requests, even though nobody requested it today. First in our seated, so if you're standing, please come to a seat because it's easier to do this seated. If you are lying down on your yoga mat on the ground for Shavasana, you can do this lying down. You just need to bring the knee up to you when you're lying down. If you have a prop, a block or a bolster or a footstool or a second chair, you can place one or both feet up higher so they're closer to you. Lots of options in yoga. The world is our oyster in yoga. Take a moment and be grateful for our knees and all that they've done for us over the years. And let that gratitude of our knees spread down to our feet. Every step we've taken in life, literally and figuratively, we've needed our knees and feet, more literally. And let's let that gratitude spread up into our hip joints. Our hip joints allow us to sit upright, stand, walk, squat on the potty. So many activities. Rub the hands together, make some heat. And then pick a knee, your first knee, and continue that friction heat on inner outer knee. If your knees are not elevated, if your feet aren't elevated, remember to hinge forward, keeping the spine long and strong. Lobster pinch around the knee joint. We're using our finger pads and we're pressing into the flesh and then pinching it together a bit. Good, feel good, sweet pinches. Not those little itty bitty annoying pinches, but the big, juicy, feel good pinches. Walk the fingers to behind the knee and massage the back of the knee. Option here is to swing the leg. Let's just gently sweep off the thigh, dust it off, stiffen the fingers, push down, and rake up like you're hoeing the garden soil. Make sure you get the inner thigh seam and the outer thigh seam while you're doing this. Lastly, palm surrounding the whole knee, big palm. We call this a dog hand. You can picture a Labrador retriever puppy paw, big hand, and other hand on top. We're not moving anything except the hands. The fabric doesn't move, the skin doesn't move as we circle around the knee joint. I say that because we don't want to move the kneecap. The kneecap is a solitary lone wolf. It wants to be left alone at all times and just do its thing, change directions. And we want to honor that because we want happy kneecaps. Pause with the palms up on the lap. Notice knee number 1. Notice sensations. And then notice the hands, sensations and hands. And let's rub the inner outer sides of knee number 2. And I'm looking at my watch. I might go over 2 minutes, and I apologize for taking your extra time. You're, of course, welcome to log off if you have a hot date in 30 minutes. Lobster pinch. And you're welcome to stay. Nice big lobster pinches. This comes from Michael Gach, G-A-C-H, like Bach, the composer, but with a G, Gach. He's a world-renowned acupressure specialist. Massage the back of the knee and option to swing the lower leg here. This is the knee strengthening massage taught by Michael Gach. If you're into acupressure, he's probably my number 1 recommendation of somebody to follow if you're an Instagram user or Um, I'm sure he has a newsletter you can send your email address to, because I doubt enough people have your email address. Sweep off the lap. Is it out of control or what? Oh my gosh. I think I delete 199 emails every morning before I even read one. It's ridiculous. Press in and rake up with your finger pads. I used to tease my husband because he didn't have an email for the longest time. He got one like 3 years ago, and 2 people have his email. I used to tease him, and now I'm jealous of him. Oh boy. Okay, I have a lot of tenderness along my inner thigh seam. That tells me any tenderness in any of these areas tells us a message. The message is massage me more. Roll a tennis ball in that spot more often today and tomorrow. Release that little pocket of tension using your fingers or a ball or one of those massagers that you plug in. That's fine too, but that may be too intense on the sensitive parts. Okay, let's palm on knee, that big dog hand, the puppy retriever hand, other palm on top. Gently circle. So I will be revisiting, it's a spot about 4 inches, my inner thigh, 4 inches above my knee joint. I will be revisiting that spot with a tennis ball a couple times today, change directions, and maybe even tomorrow. All right, very nice. Sweep both legs. Sit back in your chair or lie down flat on your back. It's nice to elevate the knees if you're lying down. Or keep the knees bent with your feet on the floor. Just pausing. Finding stillness somewhere. Maybe it's softness, stillness in the palms. Maybe it's between the eyebrows, the forehead. Maybe it's in the center of the chest. Imagining any of these areas or an area you discovered in your body. Imagine it as a hollow space filled with beautiful light. The rays of the sun, the warm sunlight, filling that area of stillness. And let's just rest in this vast space of stillness and light for about a minute more. Good. You're more than welcome, even encouraged to practice this Shavasana meditation, resting in a space of stillness as long as you wish. And then rest some more. At the time you need to come out, please come out slowly, reawaken slowly. I bow to each and every one of you with so much gratitude. May today bring us joy, peace, love, and health. Namaste.